Okay, moving on to the next exercise. Here you need to create a database of employees with the fields employee number, integer, employee name, varchar, date of joining, date, designation, varchar, and basic pay. Once again, integer of employees. Now you have to calculate the DA with the formula 10% of the basic pay, HRA with the formula if the basic pay is less than 2500 then 10% of the basic pay, otherwise it is 25% of the basic pay. Now calculate the gross pay. How do you calculate the gross pay? Gross pay is by adding DA, HRA with the basic pay. You will be getting the gross pay. Now calculate the income tax. Okay, so I think for the income tax no formula is given here. Yeah, net pay. So net pay is your gross pay minus professional tax plus provident fund. So provident fund you have to calculate as 12% of the basic pay. Professional tax is 100 rupees if gross is less than 10,000. Otherwise it is 200 rupees. Then all these calculations you need to do, and afterwards you need to execute the two queries. Our first query is employees who are drawing not more than 5,000 gross salary. One set of records should be displayed after executing this query. And second query is those employees whose date of joining is after 1st July 1995. So this is the total work to be done. Now let us go to the table. So create a table in design view. Already created a table in design view and added some data. So I'll go to design view. Here employee number I have created data as integer, which I have taken as a primary key. Then name, varchar to varchar, date of join is date. So here you have to select the date function for date of join. Then designation, once again varchar. Then basic pay, it is integer. So these things, this much you have to design. Then once you do it, add the data. I created 4 data. Maybe I'll create one more data, 105. Say Krishna with the date of joining is, let us say October 2nd 1994. Is joined as say manager with the pay say 35,000. And I'll create one more record, 106 with the Jayakar. He joined month of June 1st 1990 as an attender. His pay is say 4,000. Okay, so now this is the record which I have already inserted. So I have inserted 6 different records. Now let me go to the query. Okay, I'll go to the query. What should I calculate? I should calculate first the DA. To calculate DA, okay, get it out. Okay. So I'll go to query, design view. So I'll take the table, add. Now I'll go to once again the field. I need employee number, I need employee name, I need date of joining, then I need designation, then I need employee basic pay. So now here I will calculate his daily allowance, DA, daily allowance. So what is the calculation? Daily allowance is nothing but the 10% of the basic pay. 10% of the basic pay is my DA. So here my DA My DA is 10% of the basic pay here. So as per the problem, DA is 10% of the basic pay. So I'll add DA as basic pay into 0.1, right? So you can see now basic pay into 0.1. So I will execute this query. So what I got is basic pay into 0.1, that is 10% of basic pay. So if your basic pay is 45,000, DA will be 4,500. Now formula is correct, the function is correct, it's working now. I'll save this query. I'll save this query as DA. Query is saved as DA. Fine. I'll go to now next query. What is the next query? HRA is, if basic pay is less than 2,500, HRA is 10%. Otherwise, HRA becomes 25% of the basic pay. Let's see how to calculate HRA with the if condition, right? So here, HRA, I need to use a conditional statement where HRA is 10% of the basic if basic is less than 2,500. Otherwise, it should be 25% of the basic pay. So as per my information, as per my data, I'll make a small modification. But the modification what I make is, instead of 2,500, I make it as 25,000. Right? So here I am using a new query. Okay, the query is based on DA, right? So I will select the number of employee member, name of the employee, date of joining, designation, basic pay, then DA. Here I calculate HRA with the formula. Please make a note. It is case when basic pay is less than, I'll make 25,000, okay, because my this thing is my figures are all big enough, right? 25,000, then it is basic pay into 0.1. If not, else basic underscore pay into 0.25, then end. Please make a note. The condition is like this. Case when basic pay is less than 25,000, I have made it 25,000, but in the program it is asked at 2,500. Then basic pay, sorry, here there is a mistake. Basic pay, then basic pay into 10%, otherwise basic pay into 25%. Okay, I will run the query. That is my HRA. So 45,000 into 25%. So if I calculate, so 45,000 into 25%, it comes to 11,250. So my calculation is correct. Now I'll save this query as HRA, housing rental allowance, HRA. So my query is saved now. So two queries are over. I found out DA, I found out HRA. Now I will find out gross. How do I find out gross? By adding DA with HRA with the basic pay. My gross will be ready. So I'll create one more query on the HRA, right? Because HRA contains DA also. That's why I'm selecting HRA also, because I need all the fields. I need employment number, I need name of the employee, then I need date of joining, then I need designation of employee, then I need basic pay, then I need DA, then I need HRA. Here I'm calculating gross. So how do I calculate gross? By adding basic pay plus DA plus HRA. As it is mentioned in the question, gross is DA plus HRA plus basic pay. I am doing that basic pay plus DA plus HRA. So now I got my gross 45,000 plus 4,500 plus 11,250. So 45,000, 49,500, 59,500, 60,750. That's correct. I got a correct answer. My gross pay is over. So I'll now save it as a gross. Gross. This query I will save it as a gross. Then what is next? Provident fund. Provident fund is 12% of the basic pay. So now I have to calculate another query. I have to design another query. On the gross, right? So I will select every field here, employment number, employee name, then date of joining, then designation, then basic pay, then DA, then HRA, then gross. So here provident fund, PF, provident fund, PF, 12% of the basic pay. So that's very easy. So here basic pay calculation goes something like this: basic underscore pay multiplied by 0.12%. Right? I'll execute this. I got provident fund. Also, I'll save this as PF. Save the query as PF. Then another query is over. Now, professional tax. Once again, professional tax here has a condition. Case when I need to apply. If the gross is 10,000, then it is less than 10,000, it is 100. Otherwise, it is 200. Let us work on it. So, query on gross I will go for provident fund because provident fund has all the fields. Because if I go for gross, it doesn't contain provident fund. Name, then date of joining, then designation, then basic pay, then DA, then HRA, then gross, then provident fund. Here professional tax. Professional tax 100 if gross is less than 10,000, otherwise it is 200. So I have a condition here. So what is the condition? Case when gross is less than, what is written here in this case, 10,000. Gross is less than 10,000, then 100 space else 200, then end. That is the nature of case statement. Case when gross is less than 10,000, then 100 else 200. I find out for all gross is less than 10,000. Here it is less than 10,000, so my professional tax becomes 100. Rest all 200. So I'll consider this as professional tax. Okay, I have found out. Now I need to calculate the net pay. I need to calculate the net pay. How do I calculate the net pay? By adding professional tax with the provident fund, and then by subtracting it with the gross, I'll get my net pay. Okay, I'll call one more query. So this is already done. Close this. So I'll call one more query on the professional tax, the latest one, because it contains all the fields. See why I select the professional tax, because professional tax query has all the previous informations. If I go for gross, then what happens is professional tax will not be there, right? If I go to PF, other fields may not be there. So all the fields, whatever till now, whatever are there in the PT, like that. So next time when I go for the next one, whatever I store here, net pay. I may go for net pay because it contains all the records, right? So I'll use the field employee number, name of the employee, date of joining, designation, basic pay, DA, HRA, gross, provident fund, professional tax. So this is not needed actually, I deleted. Professional tax. Okay. So now let me see whether I have all the fields. Yeah, I have all the fields. Now I need to calculate the net pay. Net underscore pay. How do I calculate net pay? Net pay is gross minus brackets, gross minus brackets, what is given here, professional tax plus provident fund, PT plus PF, gross minus professional tax plus provisional fund. So this is exactly what the formula given over here for the net pay. So this is what is called net pay. So I'll execute this. So I got a net pay. So I'll calculate this and I'll save it as net pay. This query is saved as net pay. Okay. Now all the calculation part queries are all done. DA is calculated, gross is calculated, HRA is calculated, net pay is calculated, PF is calculated, professional tax is calculated. So all these are calculated. So this is done, gross is done, DA is done, HRA is done, gross is done, provident fund is done, professional tax is done, net pay is done. Now I have to run the query. What is the query? First query says select a employee record who are drawing not more than 5,000 gross salary. So my next query is on the entire thing net pay. Entire thing net pay, wherein I have to select all the records. Okay, so I have one more information here. I'll just close this for your easiness. I'll create a query on net pay because that contains all the informations. So here what I do is I select all the fields. I can't select all the fields. I have to select every field separately because I need to draw the query based on this. Designation, basic pay, DA, HRA, gross, provident fund, professional tax, net pay. Now let me go to the query. What the query says: select the employee record who are drawing not more than 5,000 gross salary. I'll make a small change. Instead of 5,000, I'll say 30,000 because I need to get more than. Okay, gross. What the condition is asked? Drawing gross salary. So now the condition is on gross salary. So criterion is more than what is mentioned here, 5,000. So here I need to put more than 5,000. So I'll run the query. Only one record is not there. Only one record is not there. Whereas if I put more than 25,000, if I run the query, okay, gross, everybody is there. Maybe I'll go for 50,000, let's say. Instead of this thing, I'll go for 50,000. Now I will check. So only those who have got more than 50,000 query got executed. So in the example it is asked 5,000, I made it 50,000, not an issue. So that I want to see whether the query is running properly or not. If I make it 5,000 and then I run the query, I get all the records except one record. Then if I make it 50,000 and then if I check, then I get only those records which are satisfied. So query is running properly. So I'll say query A, QA, first query, done. Now second query, select the employees record from the table whose date of joining is after July 1st, 1995. So I have to run another query on the net pay. So I'll do it for the net pay. So wherein I select employee number, select employee name, then select date of joining, then designation, then basic pay, then DA, then all the fields I need to select, because everything is important here to display gross, provident fund, then professional tax, then net pay. So everything I got selected. Now what is the condition asked? Condition here asked is 1st of July 1995. So I'll put that condition in the date of joining. Criterion is July 7th, 1st of 1995. Probably I may get all the records which are there. So here I don't get any record because nobody is joined on the day of 1st of July 1995. So I'll see those who joined after 1st of July 1995. So if I run, so everybody is joined maybe after July only. So here it is 2002, 2003, 2008 and 2010. Fine. What I will do is I will make a small change here. I will see that those who joined after 2005, 1st of July after 2005, then I get only two records, 2008 and 2010. Those who are joined after 1st of July 2005. So that completes your entire query. Okay, so with this your work is over. I'll save this as QB. Now the exercise is over. Okay.